expense of somebody else.
Well, let's talk about your story. You always felt as though you didn't fit in, and you think that perhaps contributed to your addiction having exploded at a relatively young age. Is that right?
Well, I sensed that something was off, in my family. Intuitively, what the facts were and what I felt on the inside didn't match, and so I went to food. I used to eat and eat and eat just to not have to feel anything, because I didn't really trust what was going on. It was very confusing.
And they kept it a secret. As I would say, you're as sick as your secret. So there's a family secret that you intuitively as a child, I mean, children are sponges. They know everything, even if they can't know explicitly what's going on. They know something isn't right.
Right.
That was your feeling?
My dad just didn't connect with me. There was a lot of resentment between my parents when it came to me, and I just knew that I was the catalyst to whatever the problem was, because I have a sister who's 6 years older, and they really connected well. And then my brother was born 7 years after, and it was just very clear that something was awry when it came to me.
Something was different about you.
Absolutely.
Did that then translate into who you were attracted to as an adult? Did you choose men that were abandoning and neglectful?
Or unavailable.
Unavailable.
Absolutely unavailable. Yeah. There but not there. I kept manifesting that. I wonder, do you think people manifest their lessons over and over again?
Well, it's something called repetition compulsion, that when something is, there's a funny thing that happens in childhood. If it's terrorizing and particularly unpleasant, it gets converted into attraction in adulthood. So we are attracted to people and circumstances that end up doing the same thing to us because it's those same people. Same kind of people that will, of course, oblige us by doing it all over again. Let me quickly talk to Trudy in Canada. Trudy, you had something to say to us?
Hi, Dr. Drew. Hi, Ellen.
Trudy?
Yeah, I just want to say, wow, it's really interesting listening to your story. I used to sit around the table, a family of 9, and say, I don't belong here. I'm different than the rest of you. Only to find out when I was 17 that my father wasn't my real father, that I had been a product of an affair that my mother had. And when I was 37, I met my biological father, and so I have half-sisters and brothers on that side, too. I think I've got about 13 of them all together. And what I end up doing is I end up feeling like I don't have any family at all, like I wasn't close to the family I grew up with because I did feel different. And of course, I haven't gotten...
Are you okay now? Are you doing okay? Are you able to have relationships? Have you found a family of your own?
Well, I have 2 beautiful sons. I mean, they've been my lifesaver. I went through recovery and alcoholism and all that.
I'm going to stop you, Trudy, and talk to Ellen for a second. Isn't it funny how when these things happen, how often it is the case that alcoholism and addiction manifest? When people feel that emptiness, that void, they fill it with substances.
Yes, yes. And I've gotten a lot of letters since this has come out. I have a website, and another common thread is the relief in finding out. I had such a relief, and so did my father. Because
it makes sense.
We both knew something was wrong, and my mom was Irish Catholic, so was he, and they were married 37 years, and she ended the relationship with my biological dad, and, at that time, it was the right thing.
Did you go find your biological father?
Well, he was my father's boss. So he was in our family. Actually, he was at the hospital the day I was born.
Wow. And your dad, the guy you called your dad, your stepfather, I'm getting that right.
My real dad.
Your
my
real
dad,
dad.
The only dad.
Was aware that this guy was your actual biological father?
No, he had asked my mother. He asked her when she was pregnant for me, is this my child? And then he spent his whole life feeling guilty for not believing her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, you're as sick as your secrets. And the anthropologists write about this, that the women sometimes reach outside of the primary relationship to collect some genes. It's a strange thing humans do. It's why women sometimes have a last fling before they get married. That is that same impulse. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's something. This is, again, I'm not defending men and their behavior. I'm not. Or you know what I'm saying? But I'm afraid I'm going to get attacked again.